guys, welcome back to the Left Hand Brewing Company Brewery Tour. We are now in what might be the most important section of the brewery, the packaging line. If you want that beer at a liquor store near you, it's got to come here first. Let's see how this dance goes here. Well, kids, that's what it takes to make the beers here at Left Hand Brewing Company. A little time, a little energy, and a whole lot of passion. But you may be asking yourself, how did we get here? All right, so we're back here with the founders of Left Hand Brewing Company, Dick and Eric Wallace. Say hi, guys.
Hey, howdy.
So we want to figure out what happened here in Longmont, Colorado 15 or 16 years ago, and what brought us to where we are right now, guys. So, Dick, why don't you tell me what happened?
Well, about 20 years ago, my brother bought me a homebrew kit,
Cool.
1999 for Christmas.
Okay.
And then from there, I started brewing. I just started graduate school, and I was brewing at home. And a friend of mine, Kim Kittredge, taught me how to brew beer, and she was very experimental in throwing stuff, and that's kind of how I learned. And then for the next 2 years through grad school, I basically kept myself self-sufficient in brewing. I mean, I would go out to a bar and have a beer, but at home, I rarely brought beer home, and that's how I learned. And I really worked on basically the sawtooth recipe. I was working on amber ales, and that was the beer that I was brewing. And then after I graduated from school, I moved out to Colorado, and Eric and I ended up living together.
Funny.
Both kind of looking for jobs at the same time.
Okay.
So,
Eric, is that the story you remember? What happened here with Left Hand?
Yeah, more or less, except that it was 89 and not 99. Not 99. But yeah, I ended up, three of us, a mutual friend of ours, we all went to the Air Force Academy together, Dan O'Connor. We're all living in Dan's house, basically, is the way it ended up. And there was all these little breweries popping up, and I'd just finished this huge trip from New Orleans to Homer, Alaska, and back, and saw all these little breweries, visited a bunch of them, and saw that finally, since I've been grousing about this since the 70s, the lack of variety in American brewing, and saw all these little breweries start and knew that it was going to go somewhere. So I was curious, and another friend of ours, Jonas, was a home brewer. We'd been up to his house and a couple times for parties, and Dick was a home brewer, so finally convinced Dick to teach me how to home brew. That was really the first step, and we started brewing there in Dan's house, trashing his kitchen, utterly destroying his stove. And once we got the beer going, then it was just a matter, start working on, Dick, what are you going to do? I don't really want to go and get a corporate job. Let's start a brewery. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And after enough home brews were added to the conversation, we decided, all right, let's go.
Do it. Now, how did you guys pick Longmont, Colorado? I mean, craft beer industry was rocking up in the Pacific Northwest, in California. Why Longmont?
well, what happened was we decided to start a brewery.
Okay.
And I guess it was September of '89. And Eric had
Or 93.
Yeah, you're right. I'm really bad. I'm jumping all over the place. Basically, Eric had to run up to Homer, Alaska to visit a property.
I had to get my car back.
Yeah.
Because I'd left all my stuff
That
up
makes
there.
total sense. I'm with you, right?
So I was tasked to look for a space.
Okay.
So Well, the 2 weeks that Eric went up to Alaska, I ran around from basically Loveland all the way down to Golden, looking at space.
Right.
And two things I was looking at was the space and also was getting water reports from each of the water districts. And when Eric came back, I had, what, 3 places to look at?
That old dairy building down there on 93.
Yeah, on 93 down there, Golden. You remember that there's an old dairy
still
down
there.
Yeah, it's still there. I was driving by it yesterday. I was like,
That could have been it.
Then we looked at another place on the other side of town here, and this place, which was a slaughterhouse, and I was horrified at this place.
This was the scariest one.
This was the scariest one. And when Eric came back, I said, okay, we've got 3 places to look at. So
Although there certainly
the
wasn't
water was very good in this town. It's some of the best on the Front Range.
Right.
It's almost all snow melt. It's very soft water, lends itself to brewing all types of beer. We can add the hardness, and we don't have to take it out for the lagers, basically. So it makes it really nice for that.
Time Magazine has said that the Front Range is the Napa Valley of the craft beer industry. What do you think that Left Hand offers, or over all these other breweries? What do you think makes us different from some of the other folks that are in Boulder County or up in Fort Collins or down in Denver?
Well, I would say one thing that allows it, that in which we stand out, is we have a huge range of beers.
Okay.
More than most breweries, a wider range of beers, and really high quality. And one of the reasons I think they're high quality is they're nice, drinkable, balanced beers. Sure. Even though they're extremely different one from the other, sure. There's a great balance and structure to them, and nice complexity. So we're not trying to push the edge and become the most extreme of this or that, but we're just trying to make beers that people can sit down here in the tasting room, come in after work, have a couple pints, enjoy. And talk to their friends. And in the end, we like to drink them, so we're making beers that we like to drink.
That is beer that we like to drink, and we don't mind making it either here at Left Hand Brewing Company. Thanks for joining us on the tour, and we'll see you the next time you're in Colorado. Cheers! Cheers!
And we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this. We can really precisely control the temperature of the fermentation.
Okay. What the fuck happened? That was great. Give me the next line. James, do you think the fact that this used to be a sausage factory would disgust people or be an interesting history?
I think we can throw it in for sure.
Okay.
I think it's funny.
People still think it's funny that it's a
Yeah,
sausage
I agree.
factory, because sometimes they walk in and go, God, this is such a sausage factory.